6 o'clock, I'll call the meeting order. Please rise over the flag.
Of the United States of America. It stands one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Miller.
Here.
Wolf.
Here.
Muller.
Here.
Loretti.
Here.
Francis.
Here.
Young.
Here.
Thomas.
Here.
Hager. Schwartz. Crow. Hanson.
Here.
Erickson.
Here.
Bose.
Here.
Lauer. Luchin.
Here.
Okay, it was knowledge that the meeting was properly posted and notified.
I certify it was.
Okay, I need a motion to approve the minutes from January 28, 2025 as presented.
I'll make a motion to approve the minute.
Motion by Tanner,
I'll second.
seconded by Paul Waller. Anybody want to talk about it? Make it look good. Okay, all in favor? Opposed? Communications. Do you have any communication? Nothing. Committee and chairman's report, and let's go to the left. Start with Kurt.
Finance had a meeting on February 18th. Agenda items 14 to 18 are pretty much what we talked about. I'll talk about Saxon Harbor when you get to 14, principal pay down. Recommended that highway invest their proceeds in a money market unanimously. Recommended the purchase of a scissor lift for $44,000. We'll talk about the safety aspect of that. And Iron County handbook modifications were passed. Roxanne will go over that. And number 18 is paying off the CapEx. So we'll get to all those. That's it.
Thank you for Tanner.
Nothing to report.
Okay, Mr. Bowles.
We got a meeting for economic development coming up, and I don't have much to share unless you've got something to share.
No, I think it's going well there.
Okay.
They're going good. They're going on their third meeting, and they've got to get stuff accomplished already. And Joel's going to tell us about the rent grant application. Karen?
We had a human services meeting yesterday. Budget update, all numbers aren't in yet. They should be completed by April. Placements for 2024 and 2025. The adult costs for 2024 were $174,425. In 2025, they were $11,790 to date. So, and then youth, there was $310,000 in 2024, and youth to date is $8,487. So, 2 children from 2017 placements. The court has been postponed termination of parental rights hearing again to August of 2025. This is an outstanding issue, and that was due to change in attorneys for the father. Children are now 12 and 13 years old. 2024 amended contracts and 2025 contracts. There were 8 contracts. Amended contracts for 2024 was due to actual costs for services versus the contract, and that was $26,000 increase from the budget. Human services policy revision for fiscal policies. The change was needed to ensure policy is accurate to current practice within the county for the voucher process. Transportation rate change was discussed. Currently, county and Highline provide transportation service for the county. Requests on increase in charges to cover higher costs for gas and repairs. It's been many years since those costs have increased. Transportation is considered a donation versus an actual charge, so just so you're aware. Highline charges $1 per mile for long distance travel and includes downtime for that driver charge. The cost can be more than $200 for Ashland, doctor visit, and people can't afford it. Currently, Ironwood one-way charge will be go from $2 to $3. Currently, round trip will go from $3 to $5. Distance travel will increase to about 70 cents per mile. Cost will be one way, even if for a round trip like to Ashland, which would be about $26, which is an $11 increase from the current rate. We have to be cautious about this because a lot of elderly and disabled with very limited funds use the service. So just a consideration for we're looking at that. We did a lot of discussion on options for transportation. We're going to be exploring working with the Bay Area Regional Transportation Services known as BART, which works out of Ashland, Bayfield, and Price counties. They provide excellent service. Had a contract during COVID for the service, but nobody used it because of COVID. So the contract was canceled. BART charges are reasonable, and Callie is in the process of connecting with BART, and more to come for that. Policy developed for the ADRC and Hurley Senior Center building used to ensure appropriate individuals are in the buildings. There has been someone that was working in the Hurley Senior Center, and so this policy was needed. Policy was developed, which includes fees and process for cleaning and locking up the building for private groups who use the building. One of the Northland Counseling contracted staff had been terminated. Department staff had picked up that patient load temporarily. Northland will be hiring a new staff member to provide those services. So there's an interface that needs to occur between the state and the county for financial purposes. And all counties in the state have been notified of this. I cannot pronounce what that's called, so that interface. It has to be a functioning bi-directional interface from data systems to the billing system. Our current system is not capable of providing this service, and the current IT staff does not have the capacity to create it in Workforce. So Roy Hager volunteered to help Callie and her team to explore what is needed to make this happen. So we thank Roy for stepping forward to help us with that. Children and family, 2 staff members preparing for a national exam, providing case management services for the Bayfield County CPS case. And 4 children are in out-of-home care, no change from last meeting. Iron County has 3 licensed foster care homes, which is great. We need more though. Meeting with Mercer School in March to provide services. And Tammy Moore is working with public health and schools to provide vaping education and utilize the Boston Life Skills curriculum for the students. So ADRC caseloads were shared. Security system has been installed over the ADRC, and IT is working to set up the system and door fobs for the ADRC and Hurley Senior Center. So that's an expectation that will be honored, hopefully. Mercer cook position is still vacant. There were 2 recent inquiries, and Trista is working, waiting to return for those applications. Rick, right next to me here, replaced the thermocoupler in the oven at the Hurley Senior Center. Thank you, Rick, for doing that. Midweek Mingle has started at the Mercer, and it's being well attended. The meal site on Wednesday has more participants, greater than 20 each week, which is a lot more than has been historically. Senior Center is also starting additional programs to engage the community, including morning coffee, socialization, welcoming environment, arts and crafts, and cards, etc. So more things are happening in the Senior Center in Mercy, which is good. The ADRC has received a $65,000 marketing and outreach grant from the state. The needs were identified to include logos for the bus and large ADRC sign for the hill by the ADRC building to provide direction for people. ADRC of the North is working on a commercial, and clients from each ADRC location were interviewed for that commercial. Transportation numbers were reviewed for 2024. There was a significant increase from 2023. In 2023, we had 1,842 rides. In 24, we had 3,578. So that's really good. Increase in revenue from 3,000 to about 12,500, and the difference in the revenue can be due to Inclusa and Iris being part of the contract. And our next meeting is on April 7th. So that's my report. It's a long meeting.
It was a long meeting, but the bus stuff in the transportation is huge. I think Park's gonna be well, but I know John Sendra started it, and he wanted everybody in the county to have transportation. I don't think the county should be in the transportation business, and if we can provide a better service to Park, it's the way to go. I think John just wanted people to have an opportunity. How we do it I don't think he cared. And right now, I think it's gonna be better for the county and the people, all the county, if they can do it. Right, Trista, I mean, you're here, you shot the numbers out to us today in the email, I mean, it almost tripled.
Yeah, we've seen a significant increase. I would say we have essentially 1.5 drivers, and they're both very spread thin with the route currently. My only concern is the level of service that our drivers provide. It's not just getting them in, but it's getting their groceries in, getting their groceries out, getting them to their door. They're doing a lot more hands-on. Our oldest rider is 101 years old. So those are the ones that I'm concerned about with using BART. But for the most part, I think it can be a good partnership to either be an add-on to what we have already or take on a little bit more of the overload that we have currently.
And I get what you're saying, it's not just a bus ride, it's a wellness check. You are right. And yeah, maybe we talked to him about that. Thank you, Karen. Scotty?
Yeah, forestry meeting, we had it on February 5th at the new Mercer Ranger Station. We got a tour of that, very nice facility. Happy for those folks down there. They've been waiting a long time to get in it. It's as nice as advertised.
Yes,
Nice
it is.
place. We got end of the year stumpage at $1.629 million. That was down about 86,800 from the year before. And current stumpage for this year was at 124,345. We're down about 30%, but it's still early. We did have a report from our logger representative, Eli Ladwig, and he gave us the nuts and bolts of the logging industry and where it's at right now. I would like to say it's a rosy picture, but it really wasn't. But there's only a small amount of companies that are bidding on the wood, and we're a long way away from any serviceable mills. And that's kind of one of the issues we have as it is right now. We put up for sale a couple 40s in the town of Pence. I think the minimum bid was $790. Those should have been closed by now, aren't they?
They will be
Right before our next meeting. So we got, they're landlocked 40s. There's nothing we can do with them. So we put them up for sale. And we awarded a crushing bid to Northern Crushing and Screening. Got a pretty good price on that at $4.49 a cubic yard, which is really good compared to the other bids that we got in. So that was positive. County Parks, 6 new picnic tables and 10 fire rings for the Lake of the Falls new campsites. We have received over $55,000 in campsite reservations through January, so that's off and running. Only 4 slips available at Saxon Harbor, which is always a positive thing as well. The UTV ATV trails were open, closed, and now we just got the melt. Snowville, we're still open in the northern part, but closed in the southern part right now. That was the report I got today anyway. So hopefully we can get back and going because it's been a busy few weeks on the trails for sure. And next meeting is March 12th.
Thank you, bud. Yeah, the last weekend was a nice weekend for everybody in the snow. Yeah, it was the best weekend. Pat, what you got, bud?
Well, we had our zoning meeting last week. We haven't had one for 2 months. The opinion from Hurley came up when we got to meet him. And everything seems, we haven't had any extra bills thrown at us, so that part of the recycling's been working good. Zoning, we're working on a replacement for one of our people in the office. It's going up on ads going out for assistant haircut. Jerry will be retired and try to get a replacement. Looks good for the summer. The Septic in that are already, I would say, half full. As far as finding for the grants. And building construction is just starting to move. Airport, if we have 10 more months of what we had in January, we will get up at our numbers that we want.
Be at another level.
January was the best month we've had out of the whole year. You can see. Stripes, and Toro's been out there. We set up an area for them. They do been testing snow blowers all winter. It's just that they can't keep people. They don't seem to want to walk behind the snow blower, I guess. Been up and down for that.
Yeah. And one thing to me and Pat heard too is in January, a lot of skiers came because this plane's big enough. It's a bigger plane and it takes skis. And people were getting off that plane with skis. So that helped too, having a bigger plane. What you got, Bill?
Nothing really, we haven't had a meeting.
Anything in the highway guys hear anything?
Oh.
Jamie?
Roy's not here for IT. I don't have minutes yet. Roxanne, you take pretty good notes at that meeting. Do you want to take that?
Sure, I'll fill that in.
He's got notes, but it's shorthand.
Yeah, and I'm just gonna do it off of, yep, let me grab them quick here. Okay, is it my turn or is somebody else going first? Okay, great. Sorry for the sirens in the background if you can hear that. I'm in Madison at the Wisconsin Counties Association Legislative Conference for the next half a day yet. So I've been hearing about the governor's economic plans for the next biennial budget for the next 2 years. And it's a little bit gloom and doom because people are predicting that Governor Evers isn't going to get what he wants, which is more aid for all of us, but we'll have to just see what happens. So let's start with IT. Basically, we went through the items that are on the IT help desk list. We've also been going through that in the department head meeting, so it was a little bit of a review for the committee, got more updates, talked about updating the county's website, and Danny has a vendor coming in, I believe it's next Tuesday or Thursday. Basically a vendor that many counties use, Civic Plus or something like that, where it would certainly be an upgrade from what we have now. Also at that IT meeting, we talked about getting the ordinances, the county ordinances online, and there is a product that many counties use for that as well. And Joel Miller from the extension has started looking at all of our paper ordinances and has figured out how we can scan them and get them all online. So that's a project that's underway. I'm also giving an update for the water and conservation. Roy asked me to fill in for him here, and he wanted me to report that we hired a new conservation specialist, Rayona Sulflo. She started on Monday, February 24th, yesterday. We've been working on end of year reporting and grant reimbursements. I've been working on those with all of the departments as we've been trying to wrap up 2024. Land and Water Conservation's been working on construction designs for 2025 and the native plant sales going on. We extended the order deadline to March 28th. Order forms can be picked up at the UW Extension Office, Iron County Land and Water, and at the Hurley and Mercer libraries. For the extension, we had a meeting since the last board meeting. Joel's been working on a lot of entrepreneurship type of things, economic development, and the ordinance book scanning, as I just mentioned earlier. Neil's been working on getting ready for summer camp, a lot of 4-H items, and obviously we are all, as board members, seeing a lot of students in our committees and obviously in our board meetings. We're glad to have everybody on board. Becky is assisting with food bank and economic development website and other websites. So we got a lot going on there. I think that is it for the committee reports.
All my committees have been spoken about.
Okay, we had a fair board meeting on Thursday. First off, we paid off half of our loan for the stage and stuff like that, of $20,000, so we still owe 20. And our students that we have are really interested. They have good ideas for the summer, and I hope they work out to guide them. The people support them and come out to their events. And they want to have some local bands this summer at the grandstand and start using the whole building. The carnival contracts are all signed and done. Donations are coming in yet for the fundraiser part of the fair, the bands and big bands. For completion of a new performance stage, we're working on a different plan now because the weather up here is different than some places, so we'll compensate for that. And Highway 122 is going to be done in 2027. That's what the 100-year anniversary is. But they don't think it'll affect us parking because, you know, hauling any equipment or carnival or nothing like that. And we're going to receive a bunch of soil from the road when they redo it. They'll fill in the lower spots we got. So that's going to be after the fair this year. And the Lions Club booth, that's the oldest building on the fair. We were going to tear it down. We just don't have time this year. So we're going to keep it open this year and redo it next year. For sure this time. I think it's over 50 years old. So, and we got to repair the hump in the gym floor in the 4-H. That's got to be done this year because it's pretty high. I'm going to try and get it done the first of next month. 100th anniversary, which is coming up in 2027. We're working on it. We're trying to get different pictures and stuff like that. And that's about all we did.
Yeah, we're working on the stage, it's gonna be really nice.
Yeah, the stage will be, yeah.
Okay, I got a couple things, at our department head meetings. We decided to have them on the first Wednesday of the month. We've been having them every Wednesday. First Wednesday, we talk about a lot of stuff, meats and donuts. We air grievances and stuff, and one of the things they were talking about is safety in here. So we looked into an active shooter class, and we're gonna do it when it's March 4th. March 6th, we're gonna shut the courthouse down for half a day, and they're gonna go through it. And it's people from Ironwood. Great. Paul Smart has set it all up. It's gonna be half a day. They're gonna do it up here, and then Eric and Casey and Heather are gonna pick time, and they're gonna do it at the highway. So we're gonna do that for them. We looked into getting a bid on getting some doors, maybe shut this off a little bit, put some glass in them, wood glass and stuff. It's sad that we have to, and that's the world we live in. So we're gonna get a quote on that, and we're gonna get a quote, and maybe the judge is very good at writing grants. I'm gonna go up and see him and ask him if he'd help us. I'm sure he would. So we've been doing that, and then as I've been laid off and I've been going to all these, I go to all the meetings. I went to all of them, and some of them I think are redundant. I can't say redundant, it's the same people in the same committee. And then like when that committee's over, we have a next meeting, it's the same people all. I took the broadband already, just to let you, the broadband went with the economic development. It was the same people. The broadband has to do with economic development. So I already did that, and I was looking at a couple other ones, maybe putting a GIS guy in with zoning, because it's a good fit, and then we wouldn't have to meet. But we do have to meet on that committee. It's mandatory by the state. You'll send me a thing, so you usually would have to meet maybe twice a year, but you have to. But it would just, and like recycling guys, I mean, we were recycling Thursday it took Rick Bowles longer to drive here. So I just want to know what you feel about we combine some of these. We don't have so many. So we're gonna look at that in the next month or so and see how that, I think we can bunch them up a little bit.
If you join the right two, but you can't, like recycling and,
Yeah, we gotta get the right fits. I get it.
so why should I come and sit through a meeting that got nothing to do with?
Or maybe put them in the beginning of it. Or maybe put you so you can get up and go or something. Or maybe get rid of some of the people on the committee and just,
Well, that's
two of them.
interesting.
yeah. So I think we should look at it. I really do. And that's about all I got. Everything else is going good. And then, I don't know about this, to kick this around, I thought about this today when I was walking into this. I think we should take a tour of the county. I think maybe 1 month we go to Oma, 1 month we go to Mercer. 1 month we go down to see what Sherman's all about. Anybody like that? I mean, it's something to think, don't you think we should all take around everybody else's district?
The whole this meeting.
Yeah, to hold this county board meeting in
Yeah, I
a
think-
different town.
Yeah.
I think we saved Sherman for like September, nice color, you're all getting these to ride.
Oh, I wanted December, January.
No, you're going sideways, not us. We gotta protect the mothership. But let's think about that too, and see what you guys think of that, I think. And that's about all I got. You got anything? Okay. Administrative coordinator report, Roxanne.
All right. I've been in this position for 7 weeks now. I attend a weekly meeting with all other administrative coordinators, county administrators, and county executives around the state. I learn a lot during that meeting. It's an hour-long meeting every Monday. And then obviously I just attended the statewide meeting yesterday when I arrived here. And I'm just learning an incredible amount about what all the other counties have for their administrative leadership. So that will feed into some of my remarks at the end of this. Here at Madison, I've been getting a lot of remarks like, wow, we've never seen Iron County around here in the last however many years. So I think they're pleased to finally starting to see some representation from Iron County. I wanted to start out with some thank yous to a bunch of people because in my first 7 weeks, I have realized that there's really been a lot of good work done in the last 2 years, really. Murph, you just mentioned before you started up the department head meetings last summer. And I just kind of was thinking back on that, reflecting on it and saying, boy, these department head meetings really work well to address HR issues like the item that we're going to have later on in the agenda today. Or employee handbook type of issues. And then meeting periodically with the department heads really helps handle issues as they arise. And I think has been a really good communication vehicle with the department heads as well. I've been working with the department heads on getting 2024 year end all wrapped up and getting all the grants and state aids all recorded as receivables getting all the deferred revenues that we've had as carryover from prior years all wrapped up. So it's been a work in progress and we're getting close. So I want to thank all of the department heads for the hard work in figuring out all of those 2024 year-end items so that we can have a good audit this year. Also, I wanted to point out that we have really good participation in our monthly department head meetings, and I appreciate their engagement. I wanted also to give a big shout out to Kurt for all of his leadership and hard work over the past 2 years getting our financial house in order. It's been really apparent with the preparation for this year's audit, how much work he's done on the budget and his help as we've worked with Government Solutions. He's really done a lot of hard work here and should not go without some accolades. Right now, the 2024 books are not yet final. They're getting really close. I'm still verifying the cash. I've got the money market CDs, most of the receivables, a couple little things hanging out there. And we still have cash coming in the door that belongs to last year. So we're still recording a couple last minute things, and the auditors will arrive in early April. Just as a refresher, in 2023, we had an audit with 53 year-end audit journal entries and a material weakness, plus a couple significant deficiencies. And in looking back at 2023, Iron County wasn't able to do those journal entries because we had gaps. We had gaps in resources, we had gaps in time, gaps in skills, and you know, we've just got a little bit more of our ducks in a row this year. So hopefully the efforts that we've been making on getting ready for the 2024 year-end audit here will be rewarded, and we'll have a great audit. We're on target again to have all those journal entries done by the March finance meeting, with the exception we've got some complex WRS pension and highway entries that will be left for the auditor. In the administrative coordinator position, I'm still working about 40 hours a week, probably a little bit more sometimes because of the audit journal entries. But the thing I really want to make clear to the board members here is that's just one piece of this job. There's so much more, I think, that needs to be done in the administrative coordinator role. So much more that I'm seeing other counties do with their administrative coordinator or their county administrator. Like, for example, we need to work on a financial roadmap, you know, a 5-year plan. We need to do more in budget analysis. We need to get more reports out to the department heads so they can do their own budget analysis. I know that the department heads have ideas for system efficiencies. We need to look at a new financial system. There needs to be some policy updates. Obviously, we're starting to work on getting our ordinances online, updating our website, but there's more than just our finances that make up this role. And my initial observation, and also looking around at other counties, even other smaller counties, is that the admin coordinator or county administrator, whichever way we choose to go, is a full-time equivalent position. Ideally, this would be a full-time experienced leader who has the right combination of management, HR, and finance skills. I'd recommend a CPA or someone with at least a 4-year accounting degree so that they can make sure the accounting and audit journal entries and all of that are correct. Another option is a half-time admin plus a half-time finance manager or director. A third, probably more expensive option is a half-time administrator plus a lot of Government Solutions work to support. Speaking of Government Solutions, we'll give a quick update. Back in, I believe it was November, the board approved $25,000 to spend to have Government Solutions help us with our tax levy entries and a couple of other journal entries, highway department work, and so on. And through January of this year, we have spent approximately $5,000 of that approved $25,000. And at this point, we've pretty much exhausted what they're gonna do for us. We're able to get most of the work done ourselves. So really that was reduced a lot with Kurt's work and also just my knowledge of auditing so that we didn't have to use as much of their time as we had originally thought. Looking ahead to March, the Wisconsin Counties Association is going to supply some sample job descriptions for admin coordinator and county administrator positions to help the board decide what is best for Iron County. Also, I'm going to schedule Sarah Diedrich from the Wisconsin Counties Association to attend the March finance and board meetings so that she can just do a rundown with you of, for instance, the differences between administrative coordinator and county administrator. Also look forward to a 2024 financial summary in our March board meeting. And that pretty much wraps up for the first 7 weeks. Any questions?
Done a lot.
Thank you.
Yes, you have, Roxanne. You've done a lot. Yeah. This person we're looking for, I don't know if God made him or not. You got to do a lot of different things. It's a lot of things we have to do. But maybe we can chip at it a little bit at a time. And I thank you for what you're doing. At least now we know what we got to find. We have a starting point of what we're looking for to start.
Thanks.
Okay, with that, is there any public comment? With that, I'm going to give it to Trista. Trista's going to come in and tell us a little bit about aging. I know some people got a little crazy when the new administration come in and they thought they were going to lose their Meals on Wheels in kindergarten and all that, and it's day by day or whatever, but nobody did nothing. They didn't do anything. Everybody's still getting fed. We'd like people to use it even more. Right?
Absolutely.
Right, take it away.
All right. Do you mind if you want me to stand or
You
sit?
do whatever you
All
want.
right, I'm gonna stay comfortable then. I don't know if everyone knows who I am, but my name is Trista Olson. I am the Aging and ADRC Manager for Iron County. I've been with the county for 11 years, and I started with the ADRC as an information and assistance worker. So that was where I started, and then took over as the manager 5 years ago. So I won't bore you with too many details, but I got just kind of a brief on what the ADRC does and what we cover for the county. Get it to work. Maybe. Does it want to do it? Wow, technical difficulties here.
Connected.
It's like it is, but it's in like a freeze mode here.
Now we moved your guys' seats, so everybody's got to go this way now. Over next.
Okay. So essentially, what is the Aging and Disability Resource Center? So throughout the whole state of Wisconsin, you can find an ADRC in every county. Iron County is part of a 5-county consortium. So we cover Ashland, Price, Bayfield, Sawyer, and Iron counties. We are designed to help elderly, but also those with disabilities to stay independent in the community as long as possible. So we connect individuals to resources and essentially try to be the one-stop shop for all aging programs in the county here in Iron. So the ADRC of the North, as you can see, we're one of the larger consortiums. Some individual counties run their own ADRC, but we have partnered with the other counties. With that, that means that we operate a regional phone line. So we have a 1-800 number that anybody can call. We have staff in all of the counties that answer that phone line. For Iron County, Both our information and assistant workers answer that phone line. They average about 200 calls a month between the two of them. And I'll go a little bit more on what kind of calls we receive from individuals. So who do we serve? We serve the older adults, but those with disabilities. A lot of people don't know that we also help youth. So youth that are 17 turning 18 and may have a disability, we will connect them then to the adult side of programming and state benefits and how we can bridge that gap so they don't feel it can be kind of a scary time for youth to transition into the adulthood as a person with disabilities. How much does the ADRC services cost? All of our resources are free. We have different programs though that may require income-based programming. So we go through those things. We talk about what is private pay for some individuals if they need in-home care. But it's really connecting them to the resources that are available in the county, but also statewide if they need those. This is kind of a short but sweet list of the things that we help with. We will help adults connect to nursing homes. We have a statewide directory that if an individual was looking for a certain nursing home or a group home, we would be able to connect them to where they want to go. And we work a lot with different ADRCs throughout the state. So we will help with that transition if they wanted to relocate. We have quite a few housing questions. As you are aware that we don't have any homeless shelter here. So there are times that we have to help with finding housing, affordable housing, and connecting them to how to fill out applications if they aren't able to do that. Housekeeping, chore services for seniors. That is one of the #1 things that we hear in Iron County is that they just need more help in the home. So we're connecting them to programs like Avanti, Home Health Services, Cornerstone, Minocqua. So, sometimes our resources, though limited, we expand and we have, Go Give It County has services that will help us in Iron County, as well as in Minocqua and else, sometimes they're coming from other areas to cover Iron County. People call about home modifications, adaptive equipment like walkers, wheelchairs, canes. I'll talk a little bit about that in a minute. Our transportation program for seniors and those with disabilities. We will help bring them for shopping, banking, medical, and any kind of recreational. We bring people to have lunch with their neighbor, if that is a means to make them feel socially more involved with the community. As a senior, you become more isolated. For us, then that is important to get them in the community. And then a brunt of our programming is helping seniors connect with Medicaid, different the food share program through the state, Medicare. We have an elder benefit specialist that assists with seniors on when they turn 65 and you don't know where to start, how Medicare works, and maybe they need a certain drug plan. Those are all things that are offered for free in our office. We have nutrition programs, the senior meals and home delivery, as well as dementia services. We have a dementia care specialist that comes from Price County, and he comes every Thursday and works with Iron County residents. I know this is small, but this is a report from the state, kind of just showing what the impact of the ADRC is in the community. So we, as the ADRCs covered 147,000 customers served in 2023. For every $1 invested into the ADRCs, that led to a savings of $3.88. Our role in terms of outcome, we have helped 61 hospital readmissions per 1,000 people served, and 101 ER visits per 1,000 people served. So we're really trying to be a preventative service to avoid people going into the nursing home, but then also helping them stay in their homes longer. The most popular topics, so that's when they're talking about that 1-800 number throughout the state. Every county has that 1-800 number where anybody can call, and those are the top 9 interactions that are discussed and called in about. For our transportation, as we've kind of discussed already, has grown significantly in the last probably 4 years. 43% of our ridership is going to medical appointments in Iron County. And then the second largest is the nutrition, which means we may be bringing people to the meal sites, but also bringing them to the grocery store. We have 2 drivers and 2 vans and 1 bus. And so they, Monday through Friday, will bring individuals to whatever call. It's a first come, first serve. So we encourage individuals to call as soon as possible because we fill up quite fast. And I just kind of had a breakdown of that 3,500 rides for 24, and we traveled 41,482 miles between those 3 vehicles. Individuals should be 60 and over, or those with a disability, regardless of age. But if the general public had called and if they needed a ride, we will provide that trip. As long as there is room, essentially, we will bring them to wherever their destination may be. The medical rides, as you're all aware, can be long rides outside of Aspirus. We have many people going to Ashland, to Wausau, to Marshfield. And so outside of the 2 drivers, we do have a volunteer driver program. We have 7 registered volunteer drivers at the moment, and they only bring seniors to medical appointments. So our volunteers use their own vehicle. They're reimbursed the state rate 70 cents per mile, and they go through a background check to make sure they're safe to transport. And yeah, my figures do not include what the volunteer drivers provide. So that's just the paid staff. Iron County, our senior nutrition program, that evolved out of the Older Americans Act. For 24, we provided 27,648 meals. So that includes our 5 congregate meal sites. But then we also have home delivery. We have 2 routes. So we have one that covers the northern side of Hurley, Kimball, Pence, Montreal, and then Mercer and Springstead. Seniors have to be, for that program, you have to be 60 or over, or have a spouse that is 60 to qualify to eat at the meal sites. But for our home delivery program, you have to have a homebound need. So you have to be unable to go to a meal site for some kind of physical reason, mental health, socialization, anxiety, etc. Nutrition is offered at a donation, a contribution rate of $5 per meal. The full cost of the meal is $14.14. And so we have to offer that as a contribution to seniors, but we will not deny anybody for inability to pay. So we say if they can't afford the $5, we ask that they pay what they can afford. If they can't afford and they need to eat, then we just welcome them to come have some food. These are pictures of some of our meal sites and some of the food. They do different events, fun events. We had a Hawaiian Day. We had a celebration of the 50th anniversary of nutrition in the state of Wisconsin. One of our members had a special birthday, so I was just doing different things to make people feel special. The ADRC has a loan closet, so as I was saying, we do loan out walkers, chairs, shower chairs, any kind of medical devices. We also accept those things. We have family members that call and say, they had their loved one pass, will you take this? So as long as we have room, we will accept it, as long as it's in good working order. And then those are loaned out free for individuals, so that they don't have to go and purchase them. Some people do get a medical authorization to get it covered by their insurance, but some don't have that ability. So this is another way to help seniors. And if we can't get it, we do have programs that we can order it to help cover the cost if that's the case. And some of the funding sources. So a lot of our funding for our nutrition program comes from GWAR, which is the Greater Wisconsin Area on Aging Resources through the state. They give us a portion to cover the meals. Obviously, the other portion comes from the member contributions. The 8521 grant covers a portion of our transportation, and the ADRC receives state funding to operate all ADRC services. We do have small caregiver program grants that cover some of the caregiving programs that we offer. And then we also have tax levy that will help to continue supporting our seniors. I have to say, so aging we have one bookkeeper under aging, Michelle Seibel. She works very closely with Diane with Human Services. And so the two of them ensure that everything balances and checks out. And this is just some fun staff pictures. We have 11 aging staff and 5 ADRC staff, including myself. So it's at times an all hands on deck approach. There's times that you may see me driving, you may see me cooking, you may see me doing home delivery. So as well as some of the other staff. So there are times that it is, people are pulled from their roles, their original duties, and they're doing other things to ensure that our seniors are helped. We're located in the old VFW building, the main office. We have the 5 meal sites. So Springstead, Mercer, Iron Belt, Saxon, and Hurley all have a meal site. They have different operations for the days of the week. Otherwise, we have our main line, our 800 number, and then we do have a Facebook page as well where we put a lot of different updates. Questions?
Anybody got any questions for? Okay, anybody have anything for, and I just want you to be I want to ask you this question.
Yeah.
You have never turned anybody away from a hot meal?
No,
Never.
not that I am aware of,
Not
no.
that-
And I'm not always at the meal sites, but,
I know, but I'm just, I know,
absolutely.
I wanted you to say that. No one's ever been turned away in Iron County.
No, and so we work with our cooks also to ensure that they make more, just about at least 5 meals over what, so individuals do have to reserve to eat at the meal sites. So as long as they're on the reservation, we ensure that we have that meal. But outside of that, we always try to have at least 5 meals to account for those individuals that may walk in or just show up, last minute. But we do have where they have to call in advance and reserve that meal. And we do have a cutoff time as far as those reservations, just because of the cooking time and ensuring that we do have enough food for everybody.
Okay.
Trista, I just have one. Are you involved with the Lunch and Learn in Mercer?
Yes, yes, so Mercer has started doing the midweek mingle. They're doing a presentation style before lunch, and it's been very successful. And so the ADRC kind of kicked off the first one, and so we will be doing probably about every other month. The ADRC is down there doing a different topic. And so we'll be there in March and talking about nutrition, because it's March's actual Nutrition Awareness Month. And so we'll be at that midweek mingle to talk about different tips and tricks to healthy eating, and also cooking for 1 to 2 people, which is hard as a senior. Sometimes you're used to cooking for a big family. And then you go from that to maybe yourself or just your spouse. So it's a little bit harder to cook for. So those are things that we'll cover. But yeah, and then we've expanded our, we have a memory cafe in Hurley, and then we expanded that down in Mercer as well this year. And that is going on during the midweek mingle in Mercer on Wednesdays.
So we're treating everybody in Mercer just like we do in Early, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've heard really good things, so I just wanted to bring that up and say thanks for all of your efforts with that, because the people around Mercer are talking about it, and I think it gives them more of a reason to get out and socialize. Great work.
Thank you. Yes.
Thank you for coming today.
Thank you. Great job. Thank you.
Okay.
And get out of here.
Discussion action on resolution 2025-3094 for the submittal of applications for grants to administer the Iron County Land and Water Resource Management Plan for 2025. Eric, you got anything to say about this?
Not me, but others.
Sometimes she falls under forestry when she wants to.
Who do you want to? Not this one.
Okay, I need a motion for this.
I make a motion.
I got a second?
I'll second.
That's a second. Does anybody want to discuss this? She knows what she's doing. She's winning awards. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Discuss action resolution 2025-3093, instruct county treasurer to cancel the outstanding general fund checks over 1 year old. I need a motion.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Karen, support by Paul. It's just checks that nobody cashed. Some are for less than what the check's worth. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, that carries. Discussion action resolution 2025-3095, grant applications for the Wisconsin DNR.
This is Heather as well.
Heather as well, I need a motion.
Make that motion.
Jamie, second.
I'll second.
Second by Tanner. Anybody want to discuss it? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Discuss action resolution 2025-3096, partial Saxon Harbor loan principal payment. That would be you, Kurt. I need a motion. Got a motion by Mario. Second.
I'll support.
Second by Scott. And can you discuss that with us, Kurt?
in January, we received carbon credit revenue, I think around 567,000. We used 100% of that to begin starting to pay down the Saxon Harbor loan. A month later, we got a check for, I think it's around 746,000. So we discussed that in finance. The resolution recommends that we pay down an additional $500,000 on the $500,000 on the Saxon Harbor loan. It will bring it to, at year end, to around $1,050,000. The reason why we think that's really important is it puts it on a 10-year amortization. I think we can look at ourselves and say we have a reasonable option to pay that off. Saxon Harbor loan started probably 7 years or so ago, and before this year we hadn't made $1 principal payment, so we need to keep working on that. We chose to set aside $246,000 for the moment, actually probably for 90 days, to let Roxanne and I keep working on all the things we're working on and come back with a recommendation on how we might utilize those funds. Could be additional funds are used for Saxon Harbor. If we move forward with some type of administrative coordinator, we're going to have to fund that for the rest of the year. So there'll be a couple options we'll talk about. But finance went through that, unanimously approved the resolution to pay down the principal $500,000 and then take 90 days to decide on that. Any questions on that?
Basically, what he's doing is making that bill manageable for the next 10 years. We'll be able to manage it. And I think, I think it's a smart move. Have a motion and second. Anybody else want to discuss that? I think that's the right move, everybody. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we're gonna do that. 15, discuss action resolution 2025-3097, Highway Department investment of CDs proceeds in the money market. The motion.
I'll make that motion.
By Kurt, second.
I'll second.
Okay. Discussion. Anybody want to, what this basically is Highway had a CD that came mature. They needed to invest it, but yet they still got to get at it at the end of the year to pay for the roads. So we're just letting them put it in the money market. It's making it just as much as the other things, so that way they can get their hands on it. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Discussion action resolution on 2025-3098 Highway Department purchase of a scissor lift.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Tanner. Who supported that?
I support it.
President Thomas supported it. Discussion. I guess this should have been a long time coming, guys. I mean, nowadays people don't go up on ladders. They have scissor lifts. We got 14 garage doors. They all can be maintained by a guy who works for the forestry. Billy Nacy said he can use this. This is a no-brainer, I think. It didn't go to highway yet because highway never had a meeting. So when it does get there, it'll be ready for you.
And we can charge the state, we can make $76.46 for every hour we bill to the state. So we can make a little money off it too.
Yep, and we're safer.
So we're buying it through the highway.
Yes.
Yep. We didn't know where the money's coming from. It's going on highway, right?
Yeah, they got it.
Okay. All in favor of that?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Carried. Discussion action resolution 2025-3099 Iron County employee handbook modifications. I need a motion
I'll make the motion.
by Karen. A second.
I'll second.
Seconded by Pat. If we changed it, we knew we weren't perfect in the handbook. We knew we missed some stuff. Actually, we missed 3 things. One's about CDL drug test versus an employee drug test. I don't know what the second one was, but the third one was if somebody dies in old handbooks that you had to attend a funeral. Some people don't have funerals anymore. So we don't expect you to bring a funeral card to get paid for him 3 days. People don't have funerals anymore, so we're just gonna give you the 3 days off. What was the second thing, Roxanne?
It had to do with holidays and personal days, and then,
Everybody gets
Yep.
128 hours. Everybody's the same. That's the way they wanted it, and I thank Eric for that. He kind of worked on that and did that, made everybody the same.
and we had one minor thing with call-in that we had to straighten out because it needed to say straight time.
Yep. All in favor, all in 3 changes? Opposed?
Aye.
Carried. Discussion action resolution 2025 4,000 payoff the 2024 capital expenditure CapEx loan. Need a motion.
I'll make that motion.
Making a motion, I need a second.
I'll second.
Seconded, discussion. Kurt, would you please explain what we're doing?
In December, we borrowed $1,080,000 for the 24 CapEx loan. Really, the way it's set up now is we borrow it, we pay it off next year, and then December 2025, we'll do the same thing when we go through the budget and resize what that number should be. So we will expect to see this every year. And the budget had a few months of interest in it, but that'll just be common practice.
Okay, you young people, see what we're doing? We're paying off our bills.
Being that,
We're paying a debt. Okay, learn. All in favor? Opposed?
Aye.
Motion carried. Covering everything on this, I call this meeting adjourned at what, 7:08? That's a good one. We learned a lot.
Good night, everyone.
All right. Thursday at Washburn. Yeah.